I was just like him now. I don't know who they expect us to go up and be if we watching over our shoulder all our lives.
So we just got the release of Concrete Cowboy on Netflix, and it's a pretty interesting film. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brandon, and this is Film Flare, where we discuss anything and everything that makes film and television great. So be sure to subscribe, and let's talk about a great film.
You want to ride the street life? You can't be in my house. You want to wise up? You welcome back.
Welcome back to what? I ain't got no home here.
That's your choice.
Now, this film is based off the 2009 book Ghetto Cowboy, written by Gregory Neary, and stars McLaughlin as a rebellious teen who's sent to live with his estranged father for the summer. And once there, he finds kinship in this tight-knit community of black cowboys in Philadelphia. Now, at the start of this film, I felt really bad for this kid. He gets dropped off at his father's doorstep, whom he barely knows, in a strange neighborhood that he hasn't stepped foot in over 10 years. And then we spend the next 20 minutes watching him bounce from house to house, getting kicked out of everyone's place until he has nowhere to sleep for the night. But at least things do get better as the story gets going, and Cole actually does find some reconciliation with his father. I was worried after their initial interactions, which were super standoffish, which was honestly to be expected, but neither of them really seemed to make an effort to get to know the other for the first half of the film.
I'm your father, man.
You ain't my father! I mean, you a father to everyone else out here.
Oh, you hate me, man.
But I do think that Caleb and Idris played this reluctant family perfectly, doing their best to really make this relationship feel real and believable. And Caleb's acting throughout was really a bright spot for this whole film. Then in the second act of the film, we get to watch Cole as he slowly begins to warm up to his new environment and the people surrounding him. From sitting around campfires, to block parties, to learning to ride a horse. This place works its magic on him like a kind of rehab, which I guess is actually what it kind of was. This film and story is based, at least partially, off of a real group of urban cowboys who use horses as a kind of therapy tool and outlet to keep them out of the type of trouble that Cole was heading towards. And even more importantly than the story of any particular character, it's the story of this group of cowboys fighting to keep their history alive in the face of gentrification and the general trend of marginalizing their way of life.
Time passed and one by one, they got shut down.
This film is a great way to bring attention to these guys and others like them around the country, and I think it's really cool how they actually got some of the Fletcher Street writers to participate in this film, either telling their story at the end or actually participating in the movie as actors. And the film itself was co-written by Staub and Dan Wasler, with Ricky also acting as the director. And while I absolutely love the directing of this film, from the style to the cinematography to the performances from these actors, I couldn't help but want more from the underlying story in this one. For starters, I would have loved to have gotten to know more about Smush and his history. He obviously has a connection to the Fletcher Street writers. They all know him, and even his horse is staying at Harp's house, even though Smush himself has been banned from the neighborhood.
Yo, you know you're not welcome around here bringing that bullshit?
But outside of a few throwaway lines, this story doesn't explore that part of his character at all. I kept waiting for a more in-depth explanation for his strained relationships, but it never really came. And I think he was a character that had a lot of storytelling potential that just wasn't fully realized. And I also really wish that he was more of a bad influence on Cole. Their friendship really isn't as bad as the adults seem to think it is. Outside of smoking, all Cole does is just sit in his car. He watches Smush get into all the trouble while managing to stay completely out of it himself. And that's just a symptom of my biggest issue with the overall character of Cole. This is his story, yet he himself feels as much of an onlooker as the audience sitting in our seats. He doesn't feel proactive at any particular point in this movie, and as a result, we actually never really get to see any sort of character growth out of this character. And while I'm all for subtlety, in this film, he just feels like he's going through the motions while all of these stories unfold around him. And I think that ultimately just comes down to a pair of inexperienced screenwriters. This is the first feature-length film for both of these writers, and between them, they've only got a few short films to their credit. Even still, as a feature-length debut, this is still a really good story. But that may just be down to the underlying property of it all. And that, coupled with good directing and an excellent cast, really helped keep this film interesting. But what do you think about Concrete Cowboy? Let me know in the comments below. It's available now for streaming on Netflix. But before you go and watch that, please do be sure to give this a like and subscribe for more reviews like this. We've got new content coming out every week. But until next time, have a great day and don't forget to watch a great movie. Bye.
We're gonna do what we always do. We're gonna ride.